You're listening to Well, I Laughed, Part 3 of Buried Below, listener episode.
And the smile's genetic. And that's why we have social media. And is that the like kind-hearted version of myself that I want to be at the top of this episode? No. But if you make that executive decision, I won't blame you. But it'll
have no detail. It's just going to cut in at and the smile.
Genetic. Fantastic. Hey, cheers to you. You got great at this kind of editing thing. I'll give you a second.
Wow. Sorry, I'm just preemptively.
I couldn't cheers without your consent.
No. Oh. I'm just preemptively knowing that Monet is going to be annoying, so she can sit in my lap.
She is so full of love. You should have seen her freak out when she found out I was in the house, but didn't hear me come in.
I heard her bark. That's what alerted me. Yeah. And then I realized that Casey was not just talking to himself.
Your life's adorable.
Sometimes he's talking to like the dogs or himself, sure. He's like on the phone or something.
Any other update? Oh, yes. Okay. So, listeners, please, on this unnamed anonymous day that we are recording is my brother's birthday.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. The look you gave me is you're like, Grant, you're dumb. And then you're like, oh, identifying personal information for credit cards. Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
Today's his birthday, so I was just on the phone with him, chatted with him for a second. And I love him so much. And he's so smart. He's so smart. Mm. I said all of that. He just read the book The Alchemist.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar. I haven't read it.
Same.
Yeah.
I feel like I see it collecting dust on everyone's bookshelves.
Yes. It is one of those things everyone's like, oh, I should read that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So Griffin did.
Okay.
And a big thing about it is that you're kind of supposed to trust the signs. And so, bing, bang, boom, my brother's Googling the Bermuda-Triangle.
Okay.
Because my brother's like, I'm moving to Charleston soon. I think we should do a vacation to Bermuda. It's like not that far away. It's also like kind of closer to Europe, which might encourage some other family members to like really make the jump over things like that. And then he goes, but I did check the flight path to make sure it wouldn't go over the Bermuda-Triangle.
That feels like something that would be so ingrained in us as humans that we would never fly over it, even if the wind pattern like makes sense.
So
for us to do that.
Without even hearing the phone call, you know what I said to my brother then. Hey, no. Yeah, a version of that. But because it's my brother, I can be a little bit harder. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, we are fine. I would sail through the Bermuda-Triangle. And then,
oh my God.
And then my brother was like, I don't
know that I would sail through it. I'm scared of the ocean.
Exactly. And then I'm like, oh my God, are you still the little boy that was afraid of the family Disney cruise we went on because we showed you Titanic one too many times?
Yeah, that's actually super fair.
This is, I recognize, by far the meanest thing I have said about my brother on this show.
And it's still
who is, by the way, a loyal listener.
Yeah. He literally just mentioned that he was listening to an episode of ours.
So today, that was a fun call.
Good.
I have realized now no pivot to anything beyond that.
Excellent. Well, I had a fun day. Do you want to hear about it?
Literally, yes. Yes, so much, yes.
So I took this morning off from my real job and went to go do my fake hot girl job of modeling. I make basically no money.
Do we need to bleep all of this? Is work listening right now?
They know that I was on PTO this morning.
But for like three minutes over your entire story.
We would lose so many listeners.
Sure, but the bit.
We can't afford that.
Oh, okay, now I have a story.
I also, okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, in relation to the episode that released today, which was the
John Wilkes Booth final act.
Yeah, I forgot that in editing it, you left for something, and I was like, I'm not stopping the recording because I don't want to get out of this chair. And then I played Wordle on my phone, and then I played Wordle into the mic and like narrated it. Right. And so many people were like, my ASMR Wordle, and I was like, oh, I also didn't tell Grant that I did that.
We got at least one Instagram comment, and I was just like, you know it. I don't know. Well, also because like our episodes are so long, I forget what I have said on the episode sometimes. And sometimes it's like really meaningful for others. Like someone messaged me recently and was like, LOL, I want to use the word breaking ham whenever now. And I was like, what? What
it's
are
like
you
that text I got from
about?
Hayden that was like, I think your forehead is fine. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Like a different person today. It was a lot today, actually. I was really on the lines today.
Yeah.
Another person was like desperately begging for a sticker that says like sex goatee or something like that.
Legally can't do that.
Because of like something that we mentioned about Junius Brutus or whatever.
Sure.
And I was like, we would never encourage that. We would never.
One of us has to work with kids.
Yeah. Well, also, like, there should be fewer goatees in the world.
That's actually really true.
Yeah. And so I was like, breaking ham, what? I'm like, did I say that? And then the poor listener was like, oh my God, if I misheard, I'm like so embarrassed.
No, like, but the thing is, I know that the listener is probably right.
Right. And the thing is,
but I'm like, I now need context.
Right.
And I need you to not get nervous about the fact that I need context, is that I truly don't remember.
I was like, because I speak in a font. So I'm like, I need you to tell me just a little bit more. And then he was like, you were mentioning Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh, yes, of course. Because every proper Thanksgiving also has a ham.
Yes.
And then every proper Christmas dinner has a ham and a beef option, right? like that's right, exactly. And I was like, breaking ham sounds exactly like what I would say. And then I messaged, give us this day our daily ham, and he just killed.
Anyway, I modeled this morning.
Right. Sorry.
And it was for that same local company, Colorado Threads. They're really great. They're like still super small. They just acquired another company called 1876, which is another Colorado-based apparel company. But I was not supposed to be the only model today, and apparently the other model ghosted them.
Oh.
And then here's the tea. I'm not going to say her name, but they were like, the other model ghosted us. And I was like, okay. And then they were bringing up her name, like, oh, should we bring in stuff for Maia to wear since so-and-so's not here?
Right.
And I kept hearing it. I'm being like, I've heard that name before, but I don't want to be like, because they didn't say a last name. So I'm like, there's probably plenty of people named this.
Right.
And then later, as I had to like go back and change a bunch to get into the different outfits. Right. And I come back and one of the photographers was like, hey, I saw that you follow so-and-so on Instagram. And I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, so see, here's what I thought. I was also supposed to work with her at a shoot like a couple months ago, and she also didn't show up to that one.
Oh, interesting. So-and-so, your number's out there.
I was like, I'm sure she's great. I'm supposed to work with her twice, and nary once has that happened.
Terrible day for all the so-and-sos out there.
Yeah, true.
Right?
So I ended up having to stay a little bit longer at that shoot than I had originally intended, because it was just like photos for their like website. So it was just like front, back, side of their like leggings and stuff. So it was like relatively easy, but they needed more stuff from the stuff that they wanted this other model to model. So I finally leave. I rush home, change really quick. It's like it's between the studio that I was shooting at and my office. So I rush home, grab my backpack, like change shirts, and then go into the office. And then I'm like, okay. And I have my leftovers from last night at the beer garden that I was going to eat for lunch. Right. I put them in the fridge. And I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to work for like an hour, maybe and then I have lunch while I finish working on whatever it is that I'm now hyper fixated on, most likely. TLDR. Didn't eat that.
Yeah.
Burrito's still in the fridge.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It disappeared into the microwave.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gone forever. Hopefully it'll be there tomorrow for my lunch. We'll find out.
So knew that was coming.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm working.
There are people right now rushing to their microwaves because they too
like, oh,
forgot
God.
things. Yeah, exactly. Like the crazy thing is, so many of our listeners really are you. They get it from you.
I know. Like mother, like daughter.
It's your smile. That's genetic.
Oh no. I'm sorry. And so luckily I show up to the office around 1, which is my plan. Like I'm going to work half the day and then take the rest off. But that's around the time that people start pretending to work. In some areas, they're like, well, now's the time to like chit chat. And so people are like walking past me and like coming to say hi. And one of my coworkers comes up to say hi. And I like start talking to him. I like ask him about the project that he's working on and stuff. And I reach over and grab my protein shake that I have had out. And I like go to shake it, because that's what you do with protein shakes. Dear listener, I had already taken the cap off.
Yeah.
Cap no longer on. Now protein shake everywhere.
And you're just spraying your coworker talking to you.
He didn't get any, but it definitely was like all across. It was like blood splatter across my desk. And so I was like, and we had just started talking. And so I was like, so sorry, 2 seconds. And so I rushed to the like little kitchen area, grab like the roll of paper towels. And then I come back and start cleaning it. He's already back at his desk, but I think he's like feels weird about the fact that he like left me. And so he comes back over and keeps talking to me as I'm cleaning up this protein
He's like, I'm not going to get on this gross floor and clean your mess up, but I don't want you to feel abandoned either.
It's like, this is such a strange interaction. I had protein shake. I felt so gross because I literally had like spots of it on my face that I didn't catch for like probably a good 2 hours. I was like, thanks, coworker, for not letting me know. I mean, maybe he didn't see it, but...
Simba.
At some point, I like scratched my head and I'm like, that's protein shake. I had. Okay.
How have you gotten through today?
I don't know. I don't know. So I hyperfixate, forget to eat lunch, boom, 5 p.m. I'm like, I need to leave because I'm going to a 5:30 F45 class.
So dumb. So dumb.
Yep. And so I rush and I'm like, maybe I'm not going to make it to F45. And if I don't, that's okay. I'll go to like the regular gym, whatever. Luckily, I make it to F45 with a couple minutes to spare. I walk in and I have to like change shoes. I had already changed like the rest of my clothing on the way out of the office. And I start to French braid my hair because it was cardio and that's what I usually wear my hair as. And there's like it was like clumped together from the protein shake because I just like was so hyperfixated. I wasn't like playing with my hair like I normally do. And it was just like, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely like, ugh, this is gross. And then I'm on the ski erg, which is it's like a rower, but like upright if you're unfamiliar. And about the second round into the ski erg, I remember, I haven't eaten anything today.
Right, all
like
day.
The calories that I have consumed today have come from that like half of a protein shake I managed to still finish.
Good.
And the milk in my latte this morning.
Yikes.
And as one of the coaches is walking by and he's just like, you're going to get 200 meters on this on the like in the 45 seconds.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, great, cool. And the first round I felt okay. It was the second round that I was like, oh no.
You fool.
So he was like, second time, you're going to get 200 meters. And at some point, I just have to stop the skier because like, I am not well. And so he's like definitely judging me. Later on, he's like, how you doing? Like, just like things that he normally says. And I'm like, this one's hard, not because the workout is hard, but because I'm realizing I forgot to eat. And he went, oh, yeah, that's going to play a factor. And I was like, thank you.
Suspended from F45 for bad behavior.
I probably should at this point.
There's no discipline in this country anymore. I'm getting so undignified.
And then I came home and made a little dinner, and now Grant's here. So voila.
That story is so good. And let me tell you why that story is so
good.
You know how sometimes you're walking around your life and you're like, God, I could go for just like a little flu. Like I would love to be home and like eat soup and just like curl up and sleep. Be
doted on maybe a little bit.
Right. And what we're forgetting in that moment is actually how awful it is to be sick and like disoriented and stuff like that we just really want like a day off.
I do just want a day off.
Right. No, same. But like, we're like, oh, I'd love to be sick. And then it's like, oh, I don't want to be sick. I just want to do my favorite activities
Which
and
is
like
nothing.
nest.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I have been feeling the same way recently, but about a slightly different track of that. I do feel like I have been like hyper productive the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like because I haven't had a choice.
Yeah.
Like I've needed to do it. And then like an object in motion stays in motion. Why I decided to get back into the gym within the last week, like during this week, I don't know. But I make interesting choices. But every time I run around, and I said this on the last time we recorded, it's like I'm at a 100% of like what I'm capable of right now. Would love to be at an 85%. And now is where I insult you. I forget that when you go 85%, you're actually still just as busy. You just also have protein in your hair. Really pulled you in on that story.
That was mean.
It was, but I love you.
Okay.
We had a recent, I wasn't going to say it, but now I am actively saying it. We had a recent review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, no.
One of our first negative ones in like half a year.
The last negative one we got was like, they could do better. I was like, okay.
Literally called us so obnoxious. And I was like, okay, you're going to have to try if you want to hurt me.
Be original.
Boo, give me something new, okay? But second, it ended with the phrase grow up. And then I was like, you mad? You mad at us? You mad that we're having so much fun? That's fine.
Why are you listening?
Exactly. They, according to their review, have listened to 2 episodes and they hated it. And if we had the chance to reply, I would have replied, well, what episodes? Because I'm not proud of all my work. But that's obnoxious.
I'm assuming they're just talking about the banter.
Yeah.
And babes, you can skip it
yeah,
if you want.
totally
There's
fine.
some MVP that comments on our YouTube every once in a while, just like when the actual story starts, the timestamp.
That's good.
I was like, thank you. You're
There's
doing
a
God's
decent
work.
chance it's Teresa Thomas.
Someone does it on, and that's why we drinks episodes too. So I think it's like a commonplace.
Sure,
thing
it's like a
on-
YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Like one tech person in San Francisco is clocking it for
Yeah.
the rest of his coworkers.
Literally.
Because one of the early days comments we got was someone being like, hey, just so you know, a lot of people listen to your podcast while we're coding. Oh, and who was it? Someone, oh, it was awful. Oh, it was actually hilarious. Sorry.
Jesus.
This week's episode is 3 hours long, like
Yeah.
the one that we just published. And someone commented, so glad for a long episode. I'm giving someone a massage and I know they're going to fall asleep. And so imagine getting a massage, getting a massage.
Good.
And falling asleep a little bit as you finally let your body rest.
And then they're like, oh my God, it's John Wilkes Booth.
And then just us both are like, right? I hope we're ruining their massage right now.
So vindictive.
Oh my God, it's John Wilkes Booth is great because I now think it should serve in contention with character actress Marco Martindale.
Oh my God, it's John Wilkes Booth. That's really, those are the 2 archetypes, actually. That's it. It's character actress Marco Martindale and oh my God, it's John Wilkes Booth.
There are 2 wolves inside you.
Marco Martindale. John Wilkes Booth.
There was, because you had a great kind of teaser Instagram story today that was like redacted and
Fully
stuff.
redacted.
And a lot of people were like, oh my God, is it finally Abraham Lincoln or John Wilkes Booth or whatever? And I was responding with just looking eyes emoji until I realized they hadn't listened to the episode yet. And I was ruining it for them.
That's what I would do, though. There was like a couple times where I ask people to like guess, and that's how I always respond is just the eyes emoji if they're right. So.
I also feel like when you set a course to try to predict the show, you have to be okay if you get it right.
At that point, if you're gonna message us,
exactly,
you can comment into the void, and that's fine.
What were you proud of my string of emojis at the end of today's visual episode? Or episode post?
Yeah, I did like it.
Theater mask.
For the like water gun.
Theater mask, top hat, water gun, horse. I think
beautiful.
In my mind, some people understood that was code for John Wilkes Booth even before they saw the pictures of John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, I love it. It was good.
How else was your day?
How else was my day? Right now, I'm working on this like kind of side project for one of the projects I've been working on for a couple years. That's like now wrapping up, and oh my God. My PM, my project manager for this project, gave me this like assignment, and I was like, yes. I literally got to export all of the expenses and all of the like billed hours, or like even just the hours people charge to the project, and just got to create awards based off of that data.
Awards?
Yeah, like who billed the most time to Q project, who has the most travel receipts, who paid for the most expensive meal, who paid for the most meals.
Nice.
One of them, I'm not going to say what the client's name is, but I will say that it is a very common coffee brand that you...
Schmepsy.
It's a very common coffee brand. And so one of the awards is who has the most receipts from this particular coffee shop.
Good.
Someone had a lot of them. And then someone also had a lot from this coffee shop's competitor.
So it's so funny. You have not told me this story. So this is not me like sharing information. But it does remind me, someone in my life lives in the eastern half of the United States, which means every now and then they
like
post
Dunkin'
a
Donuts.
picture of their Dunkin' drink.
That's crazy.
And if I was the Attorney General of the United States, who I heard might be Matt Gaetz, but I don't know. I am, because it's not in any of my queer fiction rom-com books that I'm reading right now.
So I don't know.
So I have no idea.
I had no idea.
But if I was, I would launch a full-scale federal investigation into why their coffee can never maintain a consistent color.
Yeah. I hate it.
That's it. That's entirely it. Dunkin' Donuts coffee, iced coffee, horrifically bad.
It's not good.
No.
I've never been impressed by it. I haven't had their hot coffee in a long time, to be fair. So I don't know what that's like. But I do know Starbucks, their main coffee. I used to work as a barista for Starbucks. Their main coffee, Pike's Place.
Terrible.
Bad news bears. Even the like baristas that I was working with were like, anyone who orders Pike's Place knows nothing about coffee.
Oh.
Because we would do like essentially sommelier classes, but for coffee, especially when we got new coffees in.
What are you, the last 3 rom-com books I've read? Yes. Anyways,
yes,
continue.
I am. And they would like have us taste the difference between like dark and light roast and like how this new light roast is special so we can describe it to people who are like curious. And everyone was like, Pike's Place tastes like flaming garbage.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not good.
2 final stories from my end. And then I'm ready to get into some listener stories.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I saw you 48 hours ago, so I'm like, I gave you all my good material. First, the children today, my co-teacher gave them a speech and debate like word search, and their prize was whoever like solved it within the time got candy, right? And it's a 40-person class. 2 kids solved it, got candy. And then the timer goes off, like the 5-minute timer.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, that's done. And several of our kids are like, no, wait, I'm so close, as they're like trying to finish it. And they go, listen, once Mr. Thomas starts class, once he gets onto the stage and starts class, like it's over. And I'm already like half standing and I'm like finishing an email. And like you can see me like, you know, when you're like really kind of getting at it and you like hit send and you kind of like half close your computer. And so I do all that, hit send, half close my computer, stand up. And then there's this child standing in front of me. Hey, Mr. Thomas, let's talk political issues for a little bit.
They're trying to get you to slow down.
And for half a second, I'm like, wait, no, this is a trap.
They got you.
Yeah,
they almost did.
And
Yeah.
they did. And so I kind of swing around the desk and they swing in front of me, right? Because like the desk was between us. So they kind of like meet me as I come around.
That's so funny.
And they go, I hear you're a great cook. Do you want to talk to me about some of your favorite recipes or things like that?
This child knows you.
I smile and I look at them and I go, I want you to know this is by far the most charming thing that has happened this period so far this year. And I take a step forward and they go, well, tell me more about that. What are your top 3 most like charming moments that have happened this year? And like you can see like kids are yelling like, hold him off, Bella, hold him off. like smoke is coming off of some of these desks as they're trying to like, you know, there's group answers being shared, all for like a stupid little dum-dum. And it's
I
so
love that,
good. It
though.
was so
That's
sweet.
so cute.
It was so sweet. And then last thing I want to share, and I shared this with you too, but I feel like I need to share them.
Yeah. Share them.
I'll share with them.
You want to share our listeners?
I want to share them with the world.
Okay.
The world we've built together. Hold my
Look
hand.
at us. Look at us.
Oh my God, it's John Wilkes Booth. Hey, do you think they were... What's so funny is they found us obnoxious and we hadn't even started to do the $6 shrimp special joke yet. Like they actually had no idea, because I see what date it was posted. They have no idea how obnoxious we are.
I have to... If you dealt with that, you have earned the right to listen to it. I'm still going to share it on the story, but it is just as good. It's so fucking funny. It's so dumb.
And this is why it's so good to get a little bit of negative feedback every now and then, because you're like, oh, I actually am fine with this.
Be worse.
I don't
actually.
I'm actually not in the market to change this.
So it's essentially like I don't know, like a billboard that has like changing messages, essentially like a road sign that'll be like construction ahead, like be prepared these dates, you know? It's like that. So it's clear there's just like a bunch of different things that it has going on, but okay. Here we go.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. $6 shrimp special.
There is zero chance that came across well to them at all
so
in any way. So good. Okay, so then last thing I wanted to share, and then we can do some stories. So I mentioned very briefly that I have started to go back into the gym. So I had a gym membership since or kind of early days in the pandemic. Like right after I was like, wait, hold on. Does walking and moving my body make me feel better?
Yeah, it does happen.
Could be a scam, but let me investigate. And so I had that for years. And then I was really getting into running. in between my 2 half marathons. Because when I did the first one, I was like, I paid for a gym membership for like 2 months and never used it. I'm going to run another one. I'll drop my gym membership because I'm obviously not using it, and I'll run. And I kind of did. And then I ran the half marathon and then stopped running and didn't get a gym membership. And that was only a very short 6 months ago. And so I was like, I do want to get back into like some kind of physical fitness activity and like working that into my schedule, because what we do not change, we choose.
Brene.
Or somewhere. Sure. When in doubt. So I'm back at the gym and I'm like, this is good. I had unscheduled 55 minutes between work and anything I would be doing in the evening. That's a perfect time to do it. I'm going to that gym super close to my place.
Yeah,
the one that Tyler used to bring us to with his like guest pass or whatever. Yeah. So I'm there and I'm listening to my little queer novels on my phone, which means my entire screen is pink with like the book cover, whatever. So that's flipped upside down. And I'm just like very cognizant, as everyone is early days of going back to the gym, very cognizant of other people and of my presence in that space again, right? And I even had this like little pep talk to myself beforehand, and it was like, Grant, this is the benefit of age. Like, you know what you're experiencing right now. You know it's survivable. You know that your body's gonna say no until you do it, and that like you know what your like values are, and just like go. And then like once you're there in the discomfort for a little bit, the discomfort disappears, and so I'm like working through it. But I'm still at the gym for the first time in like 6 months. So I'm like, but
it feels like high school. Like, it feels like I could be bullied.
As a person who doesn't really experience like self-esteem issues, yes, it very much does. But I still have these like cannons for legs, right? Like just absolute.
And you do hike.
I do quite
regardless
a bit.
Of if you're working out.
So I'm like kind of ripping it big time on one of the treadmills, right? Like, got the elevation set pretty high, got a nice little brisk pace going, and 2 absolute bros like join in the treadmill next to me, and they're like discussing Bitcoin or whatever else.
Whatever it is, straight men do.
Making fun of Trump, of cabinet appointees. So I was like, okay.
We could be friends.
We
can at least be associated.
Correct. I specifically stationed myself in front of the Spanish channel, like the Spanish television, because I never know anything that's going on there.
And you can't get distracted by it?
And you will kind of like, you can actually get lost in it.
Because you're making up your own,
right, because obviously I'm not hearing any of the words, and I don't know what's going on, and I'm like, what is this show?
Yeah.
Why has it been dramatic ping pong balls for 20 minutes? What is happening? There's a person dancing in the background. They're dressed in black. And so I'm actively not trying to watch Fox News. These guys right next to me, they're not Fox News. That's great. But like the guy that's right next to me like scans for a second and then like looks at my machine again, but like longer. And I can tell is like taking in all my numbers. And because it's a treadmill, like our machines are right next to each other.
Yeah.
So I know I'm doing like way more elevation than he's doing. And in that moment, I no longer felt self-conscious at the gym and
you felt
knew
superior?
I was better than him. Yes. Exactly.
So you are the exact type of person that you're afraid of at the gym.
Right. But then
whenever you have to tell yourself, no, they're not looking, they're not judging me. Think about this.
But then in my ear, it was like, and then Dave said to Jules, I don't know if I'm ready to love again. Right. And it's just like, it's like, and I mean this a little derogatory, so gay in my ears that it is balancing it out in a really great way.
I am not any straighter than when I am at the gym.
Yeah.
When there's like dubstep playing and I can just like kind of lose it and just be like, yeah, I am going to deadlift this 150 pounds for the first time ever.
How many songs from the musical Wicked have you listened to this week?
I am actively trying not to. Are you talking about like the original Broadway soundtrack or the movie soundtrack?
Whatever you want.
Because I'm not going to listen to the movie soundtrack until I see it.
Until you see the movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've seen the whole Loathing.
Yes.
Because that's the one that they've like leaked.
I am intentionally.
I'm so in.
I'm trying to not watch it. I kind of want to like re-experience it. Like there's a few songs I know really well, right? Like Loathing, which I haven't seen the.
Loathing.
Unadulterated loathing for your face,
your clothes,
your hair, your clothing.
Let's just say
we have it all.
We loathe it all.
We loathe it all.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What is this feeling? I hope that stays in. I hope that's so horrific that we lose everyone. Anyways,
but I have been listening. The only thing I can like listen to right now, I go through phases of things that like I can listen to while I work and other things that I can't. And right now I'm on like a big Broadway kick. So the number of times I listen to Roxanne from Moulin Rouge is probably unhealthy. Yeah. Also a lot of Hadestown, a lot of Mean Girls.
Yes,
a lot of
always.
Hamilton. What's some other ones? Finding Neverland is in there a lot.
Okay.
Waitress is in there a bit.
I had to introduce a child to Waitress for the first time
That's
yesterday.
really sad.
Yeah, it's wild because they're going to read the song She Used to Be Mine,
Yeah.
but like in poem form in one of the performances. And because she'd never heard the song before, she was putting the emphasis in crazy places. At one point, I had to look at her and be like, why are you reading this like you're Jamaican? And she goes, I'm not. And I was like, oh, okay, great.
Good.
Are you ready for some secrets or some stories?
Some secret tunnels?
Some secret listener stories?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read our friend story, Dark Ancestor Secrets.
Yes.
With simple
Loathing.
There's no.
I'm realizing I learned that song while I was at theater camp.
Shocking no one.
No, not shocking anyone. In elementary school, middle school. But we were doing The Wizard of Oz. I'm not sure why we were learning that song.
Every single person's child teacher in the late 90s, early 2000s was making some big artistic decisions. Because this is, how old were you in that story?
Oh, maybe like 8th grade.
Oh, okay. No, so there is internet by that point.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
mind.
there is.
Okay. Because I know for a fact some of the things I experienced in childhood was this came in a box in July. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we have.
I think I was they had like essentially electives for like the kids that were in the theater camp to take when they were not needed for rehearsals. And so like obviously the big characters in the play or in the musical never were really in any of these electives, but because I was like in 8th grade or whatever and like wasn't a background actor, basically I took all of them, and one of them was singing. And I think we also learned 525,600 minutes from Rent.
Hilarious again.
Yeah, but just
everyone in school learned that one for some reason.
I know. Like, why can we all say that like verbatim, even if you can't sing?
How music teachers taught us what a round is.
Oh, no, I had other ones.
The story never ends. Let's celebrate returns of life of a friend. Talking about. I was like, you can pretend to be superior, but I know you, Maia Warner. I know you in your soul, and I will not be shamed. And I'm currently jabbing a finger at you that has pink stars painted on it.
I know, I did see that.
One of my lovely, beautiful little ADD queer kids was like kind of just like squirreling out and had ran out of paper. And so I was like, they were like, can I give you a tattoo, Mr. Thomas? And I go, sure. And I like show them my wrist.
I love that.
Because it's so easy to wash marker off your wrist. That's why at the club, you put the stamp on your wrist. And they go, no, flip it over. And then I go, no, it's easier to wash off on this side. And they go, I know, flip it over.
This is a tattoo. It's meant to be permanent.
100%.
Yeah, I like it. It's artistic.
Say more.
About your
about the listener story.
loathing. What is this feeling? So sudden and new. Okay.
Only half an hour in, starting the stories. That's great. We love that.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, that's normal for us. This is from a listener, fake name, but the same fake name that she'd previously given us, Nicole.
Oh, fun. Okay, great.
So say, hello, Mant.
Nice. Wow.
That's so fucked up.
When you're not sure if it's sir or ma'am. Hello, Mant.
Yes.
What was that thing that SpongeBob character always said? My aunt. It was supposed to be on my leg, and it was funny in my head, and then I said it out loud, and I am actually embarrassed right now.
Good at staying
Please
in the episode.
cut it. Please.
No.
Well, you know what that means instead.
That you're
About to run
leaving?
100 miles per hour, throwing so many jokes at the wall that this gets lost in some fugue state.
Well, you can apologize to Nicole
Okay,
then.
well, for Mant.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nicole.
Hello, Mant. First off, I know I've already written to you, but I just can't help myself.
Yay!
I love you both and love to gossip. Also, you can use the fake name I gave you last time, Nicole, she, her pronouns.
Nice.
Anyhow, When I saw the theme Dark Secrets, I immediately thought of a part of my family lore. When I was younger, my dad told me of how one of our ancestors helped assassinate Abraham Lincoln himself.
Okay, so good. I was pretty sure that that's what this story was.
Okay.
She sent this way before today.
That's so
This
funny.
email came in October.
Yeah, it did. Okay. Or Babraham Lincoln, or whatever Grant called him that got bleeped out in that one episode. I don't know what I bleeped out. I'm sure it was derogatory.
Probably
in some way.
Abraham Lincoln, because that's also what other people have written to us as.
But I don't know why I would have bleeped it. Probably bleeped like words.
Probably because
you
I said
before.
Abraham Lincoln and then said something even more
Yeah, probably.
afterwards.
Probably. My dad said his mother's maiden name was Spangler, and she was a direct descendant of the co-conspirator. The hot one? Just kidding.
No, there was a hot one for sure.
I know,
Yeah.
Lewis Powell. I just put his photo on the thing today.
Okay.
I did look at him.
Maia likes the bad boys.
That should be obvious. We've talked about the whole mafia thing. We're there. And Draco, whatever.
I don't know if I have the capacity to talk about your marriage tonight.
I'm married to a golden retriever.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
My dad said our ancestor was close with John Wilkes Booth because he worked in the theater as a stagehand of sorts. Spangler was vocal about his dislike of Abraham and was the one who set up the balcony for the president's arrival. Spangler's main part in the assassination was to watch the getaway horse for Booth's
Oh, shit. He was the one that was holding it.
Yeah. My dad told me not to go telling a lot of people about this because it was not something to boast about. Parentheses, why he thought a child could keep a secret, IDK.
God, I'm sorry. I got to pause you there.
Yeah.
A child, so again, the children just kind of gather around my desk for like the good news or whatever. Like, what's the word of the day, mister? Yeah. And so this sharing story is kind of just in my presence at no prompting on my part, right? Because I have a very busy job that requires me to always be moving. And at one point I look up and I go, you guys share information you couldn't waterboard out of me. Like I could get you to accidentally tell me your mom's maiden name and social security number. Yeah. And then all at once, all three of them go, oh, my mom's maiden name is blah, 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 blah.
The urge to tell you my mom's maiden name in that moment was so strong. I had to stop myself.
It was like QC. And then I look at him and I go, credit card, credit card, credit card. And then other kids are staring at me now. So then I go, blackmail, eviction notice, pink slip,
God, I was about to do.
It's holiday season.
It's the holiday season. But
dickory dock.
Okay, we're gonna stop.
We're not even that wine drunk tonight.
No,
we're
I know.
actually shockingly sober.
I've had a long day. Anyway.
What was Nicole saying?
Yeah. As I grew up, I considered the story a fib. So the story that her dad told her. Something like when Cam on Modern Family said his granddad beat a major general in arm wrestling for a belt buckle, only to find out the buckles were a commodity sold at gas stations at the time.
Yeah, that was Modern Family's only dramatic episode. It broke my heart for Cam.
Parentheses, by the way, Grant, you got me and my boyfriend to watch Modern Family for the first time.
Well,
Thank you for that. It's amazing.
If they just started watching based off, I guess we've been doing this for 2 years, so never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's a later episode thing. It's to help pay for their wedding. I watched it too much.
Okay. However, when I was in late middle school studying Abraham Lincoln, I saw in my textbook our family name Spangler and how he was a part of the assassination. I was shocked. If we had a family name,
secret.
If we had a family name like Smith, I could write it off as a fluke. But no, it was the same family name that was passed down to my uncle as his middle name, so we can remember our family history. Parentheses, why they did that, I don't know. So far, she's ended 2 of the 3 paragraphs with why they something, I don't know.
I am confused about this thought as well.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Inspired by y'all, I Googled John Wilkes Booth, and then in quotation marks, Spangler, and found more information than I thought possible about my ancestor. He was a carpenter before working at the theater, and he helped build Tudor Hall, which is where the Booths would vacation in the summer. He met Booth when he was a kid and became close with Booth.
Tudor Hall's on the national list of historic places, and I pulled a couple photos, but then I was like, where do I fit this? Yeah. And then ditched it.
He met Booth when he was a kid and became close with Booth when he became an actor. He worked at Ford's Theater as a stagehand, and he would often sleep in the theater. One article describes Spangler as a, quote, harmless and a heavy drinker that lacked self-respect. Oh my God.
Found him.
Yeah, jeez. Literally the next sentence. I can see the family resemblance. She's talking about the heavy drinking and the lack of self-respect.
He was in prison for 6 years.
Good. Okay. The article said immediately after the assassination, Spangler began slapping around any person who tried to stop Booth's getaway. Spangler was later arrested for co-conspiracy and sent to 6 years in prison. However, Spangler only served a year and a half in, quote, the dry Tortugas before being pardoned by President Johnson in 1869. Once he was released, another co-conspirator from the assassination, a Dr. Samuel Mudd, gave Spangler 5 acres of farmland in Maryland, where Spangler remained the rest of his life. Parentheses. I have never seen or heard of this farm. I have no idea if my grandma grew up on this farm or if any relative has control of it still.
It's crazy, though, that it only goes back to, like, her grandma. Yeah. Right? Or, like, maybe her great-grandmother.
So recent history, it feels like.
Exactly.
Yeah. It feels very messed up that he was given acres when the slaves who Abraham Lincoln was fighting to give rights to never got their promised 40 acres. I don't stand by what my ancestors did. I will say the name Spangler has not been passed down since my uncle. None of my cousins have the name, and none of my cousins' kids have the name. I would love to see Spangler's face when he sees what a bunch of liberals his descendants turned into. The same uncle with his name is vegan and goes with his family to Planned Parenthood fundraisers and march with the Black Lives Matter group in his neighborhood. The Spangler name will die with him and become nothing more than a dark family secret. P.S. Here's a picture of the original Spangler, and I have to say he does look a lot like my dad and uncle.
That's a much kinder photo.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Good for them.
That's a good picture.
That was a great picture.
And then she gave her sources.
Thanks, Nicole Spangler.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
And also, like, so eventful because it came after I had decided to do John Wilkes Booth, but before I actually had done it or even had finished researching it.
That's wild.
Which is probably why I didn't get rid of the last episode. I was like burying it.
Yeah, you were like, do not.
We're not even in like Vigilante Vengeance, but it was like, gotta bury this.
Yeah.
And then when I was sending off like thank you emails to our last set of listeners, I was like, oh yeah, this story's great. Why didn't we read this one yet? All right. This getting permission. Yes. You are welcome to use my name and pronouns. So this email is from Holly, she, her. Here's the message. Do you think she starts off with Grant or Maia?
Maia.
Even better. Hey, smiley face. Love the podcast. I've attached a Google Doc with a story I thought of for the friend or foe theme, but was too nervous to send it in.
Oh.
Con Me Once came around and I took it as a sign. So a couple themes ago, do you want to know the headline for this email?
Yeah.
Mindful and Demure or Calculating Con Woman?
Nice.
Hello to my favorite podcast. Immediate parentheses. We are your favorite podcast.
Yep.
There's a battle between my people-pleasing anxiety and OCD. Hope this was good for a compromise. It really is unfair that we have created a podcast where we talk openly about the things that make us anxious.
Yes.
And then we pitted them against us before they write messages.
Yeah, that's on us.
It might have actually stemmed the flow of listener episodes as they weren't sure how to address it. Just put it as Grant and Maia at Well I Laugh.
Considering your paychecks are going to come from me someday.
We're getting paychecks someday. That's fun.
I forgot. You're so fucking positive.
How?
I don't know.
Well, my name is Holly, she, her, and you're welcome to use my name and pronouns.
Nice.
From the UK, but found you whilst living here in Estonia.
Ooh.
Side note, this is a dash, not parentheses. Side note, I'd never heard of this country until embarrassingly late in life, but it's beautiful and I can finally breathe here.
Oh.
It's one of the Baltic countries,
Yes.
not Balkan, Baltic, different oceans, seas.
Say it one more time. Maybe I'll get it.
The condensation or the facts.
You were trying to say condensation.
I absolutely love the condescending tone of my voice. Okay.
You can't even pronounce condensation.
Isn't condensation what forms on the outside of a glass? Yeah. Does it have two meanings to it?
I'm just giving you shit.
Oh, okay. I was like, listen, I'm on record being like, I'm Phil Dunphy. Like, I'm having a good time, little dumb. So, like, and let that be a testament to you. Anyone can get a master's degree.
He doesn't have it yet.
No, I mean, I got enough money left on the credit card to get it. Like, that's not an issue. I absolutely love your podcast.
Yes.
It brings me joy and a sense of companionship. Long-time listener, first-time emailer. I only let myself listen when I walk to the gym and clean my house. Downsides is I have now caught up again with new episodes to listen to, so I'm in a dark era once more. But on the plus side, myself and my home have never looked better.
I mean, I'm happy for you.
Also, join our Patreon.
Don't feel obligated, but like, I mean, there's more content
if you want
there
more content, yeah, absolutely. We'd hate to ruin the gym routine.
Yeah.
After I spoke so candidly about it today. The two of you work so hard to enrich our lives. Oh, that's actually really kind.
Oh.
Sorry. The two of you work so hard to enrich our lives. So I hope you can have a giggle at this. Please keep up the wonderful work you're doing. P.S. Grant, I hope your sports podcast dreams come true.
All right, Holly.
Just as long as you and Mum stay together.
Thank you.
Literally
Thank you,
M-U-M.
Holly. Yeah.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Good. Bit of a long story, and I hope I do it justice. I'm not very funny, but my mom thought it was a good story, so here we go. This story is about a con woman and how my friends had the courage to trust her one more time.
Good. That was good.
And always one more time.
That was a good callback.
Holly, welcome. Welcome to the storytelling family. We're so thrilled to have you. We'll explore things like missing money, biker gangs, ashes in the window, and how in some cases it's better to be a moocher than a giver. I've always said that. And you were there when I first said it.
And once I tell you what I'm about to tell you, then I will have told you what I'm about to tell you.
And that's us mooching off each other.
Yeah.
Kiss.
No.
To set the scene, I'm 21. I just moved to the south coast of Spain and definitely not learning from my hungover mistakes. I was supposed to be there for a 5-day holiday, but of course, I met a boy, fell in love, and moved there for the whole summer with the plan to move back full-time once I graduated. I'm so far removed from reality in the story already. What? You're there for 5 days, fell in love with a boy, and you're like, I know, I'll just spend all summer here?
Here's the thing is I've seen this before. I've seen this play before.
Have you?
Yeah. I've had friends that have
Really?
or like friends of friends that even if it's not 5 days, they'll like if it's like a semester or something, they'll be like, well, I'm moving here now after college, or they're moving here or whatever. I have seen that happen before.
Maybe I'm too skeptical. Maybe if I believed
Maybe if you trust in love
one more time. Every time.
Yes.
I was going to say, maybe if I start to believe in just a couple of conspiracy theories, then I can also believe in love.
Yeah. Love might be a conspiracy.
Side note to our current side note, last night it was the whole group together.
Yeah.
And two of the friends are recently single, like kind of on the same day, like ended up single again.
Yeah.
And I looked at them both and I said, welcome back. I knew you'd be back.
With your frosé in your hand.
Frosé in one hand, soft pretzel in the other, like the balance weights of justice. And I go, welcome back. I knew you'd be back. They always come back. Now giving Ursula vibes.
That was good.
And they thought it was funny, because it is. And they loved me. Back to the story.
Jesus.
So she's moving to Spain,
Yeah.
South Spain, for the whole summer because she fell in love with the boy. And you're like, yeah, Tale as old as time. And I'm like, Tale I'm reading about for the first time.
Yeah.
You're just telling me for the first time. I've never heard that before. The Donald Trump quote. Okay.
I wasn't
During
even
the summer,
intentionally
I
giving
lived
you a blank face. Sorry, continue.
During the summer, I lived there. I met many people and made lots of friends. But it was common for people to come and go in our friend group, as for some, living here was their side quest.
Nice.
There was, like, including you, Holly.
Yeah.
Like, you're only there for the summer.
She doesn't know that.
Sure, it could be real. It could last forever.
Maybe they're married now, and you're gonna eat your words.
Insane plot twist if that is what happens. Just again, the world's biggest conspiracy theory: love. There was a few who stayed consistent, so I was excited to meet the new addition who moved there whilst I was finishing my degree. Let's call this new addition Katie.
Ooh.
Now, Katie charmed the hearts of the people with her mindful and demure manner. So it was everyone's surprise when we realized she was, dun, 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 a con woman.
Oh my God. It's literally that woman that sells essential oils in Bob's Burgers.
Which one?
Not the aunt, but the one that like cons Linda, and the reason Aunt Gail has to go and get her.
When Gail goes, Linda, peppermint essential oils will ruin your life.
Yes, it's like the other woman that Linda's like, I wish I could be like her. I want to be her friend, and then she's
no beer or wine. Gail, how do you relax? I don't. Oh, right.
I love that.
She's a con woman.
Okay.
Very low key, very subtle with her ways that no one realized until it was too late. So as I mentioned, I'm a people pleaser. So when Katie asked to borrow money, I, of course, if this is like Finding Anna or whatever that show was that I couldn't watch because it caused me too much anxiety.
Yeah, Anna Delvey.
Yeah. I, of course, practically threw it at her, even though there was 90% of the money I had to my name until payday 5 days later.
Oh my God, Holly.
She promised she'd pay me back the next day.
Oh my God.
But 3 days later, the food at home was dwindling, and although I drank for free at the bar where I worked, I was getting a bit anxious.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so scared for you.
I was getting a bit anxious seeing her buying things at her work. The same place as me. Because we worked together.
Oh my God.
Well, anxious as ever, I brought it up. She apologized and said she'd forgotten and told me to come to her house tomorrow to get it. After a bit of confusion on her end about where she lived,
on her end?
Yep. After a bit of, quote, air quotes, confusion on her end about where she lived.
That's insane.
I got the money back. But my experience with her was boring and pales in comparison to what she did to my friends.
Tell me everything.
Now, I don't know the exact reason as to why she stopped working at this bar. Either she quit or there was a whisper that money went missing.
Oh, no.
It's the second one, babes. If you're working at a place where money might go missing, they're firing people. But of course, no one believed sweet Katie would do that. She ended up working at a bar around the corner. This bar, it turns out, was run by a notorious biker gang of Spain. Despite this, it was a decent place. Yeah, go ahead.
Biker gang in Spain don't make sense in my head.
I just imagine it's like...
Yeah, I'm imagining mopeds.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, it's the...
do they wear leather jackets, do you think? Because it really doesn't add up.
What's the name of the color that you wear at Easter?
Pastels.
Why do I just imagine it's all pastel colored, like mopeds and Vespas?
But then I'm picturing like
all
big
electric, so they
guys
can't like vroom vroom, right?
In like
deadly
leather
silent.
jackets. Yeah, deadly silent.
They pull over to this.
That's a good theme name.
Oh, nice.
Dead silent.
They pull over to the side of the road. They unwrap sandwiches out of wax paper. It's artisanal bread and prosciutto.
Yeah, and
right?
like a very nicely poached egg
right,
or something.
Exactly. It's called the grinder.
Yeah. Good. Nice.
I love the worlds we build. Oh my God, is that John Wilkes Booth?
Yeah. You and I are going to say that to each other one day in public, and no one is going to get it.
This week. I leave in 3 days, and we're still going to say it in public this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so, where was I? Oh, I spun down a little bit. Okay. Biker Gang of Spain.
Yes.
Despite this, it was a decent place, and my other friend, let's call him Dave, worked there too. She worked there for... a while when Dave started telling me that money was going missing and that owners thought it was him.
Oh, no.
And being who they are, they're not the people you want to be on the bad side of.
Yeah.
Then tragedy strikes.
Oh, no.
Katie's mom back in England passes away. Katie decided to ask the owners to borrow money to fly back to England and pay for the funeral. So off she flew and came back. That's wild. Came back a few weeks later.
I was not expecting her to come back. Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm going to read to you what I thought it said, and then I'm going to read to you what it actually says.
Okay, I'm ready.
And she came back a few weeks later with no money and an arm. She came back a few weeks later with no money and an urn.
Oh. Did she find it in a smoker?
I don't know. Still not legally hers. They are actually shockingly similar words when you're reading it quickly.
Yes.
The biker gang, seeing her mourning, allowed her time to grieve and put the money owed aside for the meantime. During this time, Katie hires a boat for her and her friends to go out to ski to scatter her beloved mother's ashes.
Oh my gosh.
As the gentle breeze whisks the ashes away, it was very sad and moving, with people giving speeches and Katie, understandably, very emotional.
Yeah.
Katie then turns to two of our other friends
and asks for money.
Scared that the biker gang will grow impatient over the money she borrowed from them. Seeing the devastated Katie worry, they together lend her an enormous sum with the agreement that she can pay it back over time because, hey, they're friends, right? Wrong.
Never.
Katie then vanishes. Fleeing the country. I actually now believe she might not have ever flown out of the country.
Yeah.
She just went in hiding for a couple of days.
Moved across the street or something and got a wig.
Went to a thrift shop in the town over to buy an urn or a vase and then came back.
And dyed some sand black or something. Burned something else.
She's just gone girling it, but like on a Greyhound bus in southern Spain.
What? Oh my gosh.
Katie then vanishes. Fleeing the country, she blocks everyone on social media, changes her number, and is never heard from again. Although Katie had the guts to steal from them, she fled so fast, of course she had to, with the biker gang who would end up coming after her when they found out. Now, these generous friends are panicking, trying to figure out where she went and trying to get their hands and try their hand at sleuthing. It's only when someone manages to find Katie's ex-boyfriend on Facebook that we find out the truth. This is not the first time sneaky little Katie has done this, but this was the largest sum of money she had gotten away with. But that's not all her ex told us.
Oh my gosh.
He's just seen Katie walking around town with none other than her mom.
Oh my God, yep.
Her arm.
Yep.
Now, you may be asking yourself, what the hell was in that urn that was so movingly scattered into the Mediterranean?
Yes, I am wondering that.
Well, friends, we'd all love to know.
Katie, that was, or not Katie, Jesus. Holly, that was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
Because when we ask questions to each other on this podcast, it's because we've scripted out the answer.
Yeah.
She's like, you might be wondering what happened with those ashes. You're not alone.
I am too.
Many, many people have asked that question. I swear to God, it was real ash. Now, years later, engaged to the man I met on holiday. Boo. I mean, yay.
I knew it.
It seems
Eat your
I was
words,
the
Grant.
only person in the story who ended up getting their money back. Although
Wow.
Katie came out on top, my fiance, however, scored second place as he owed her $10. And that's a win.
That is a win. That is a win.
I hope you enjoyed this. Congratulations, Maia and Casey. My
Thanks.
anxiety is high over how the spelling is. You didn't spell it right, but you spelled it totally understandable, and I'm not going to say it on the podcast. Got very close.
If you want to feel better about it, so Casey and I got married, right? And it's like customary, I guess, for the company that I work for to get a gift. And usually that comes in like a gift card or something to like our favorite restaurant. So I had told our executive assistant what restaurant like we would like a gift card to. And
Right.
she gave it to me the other day. She's been like out sick and like on vacation and stuff. And she hands me a receipt for it, as like all like older generation people do. They're like, in case they don't accept the like
Right.
gift card or like whatever. But anyway, so now I have this printout and so Casey's name starts with a C. Give me another C boy name that's common.
Connor.
Okay, so we're gonna different one because that's his brother's name.
Colin.
Colin. Okay, cool. I don't want to out this particular coworker, but me and him got engaged around the same time.
Okay.
And this sheet that she had given me says Mia and Colin.
Ooh.
Essentially, she's met Casey so many times. I showed it to my
And
boss
knows
today.
you.
I showed it to my boss today, and he was like, "This actually answers a lot of questions because a lot of people, because since you and Colin got engaged around the same time, some people thought that you were engaged to each other."
Oh, hilarious.
Anyway,
Kiss.
So if it makes you feel better, a lot of my older coworkers that I don't see often call me Mia, and that's it. I don't care
I'm pretty
anymore.
sure my work email has my name listed as Thomas Grant. That's the only thing I have to compare to that.
That's rough.
I mean, I'll get over it.
Yeah.
All right. So congrats, Maia and Casey, on your
Holly.
marriage. I hope you live your lives together full of love and joy. Grant, I wish I had a teacher like you. If your students turn out half as nice as you, it's a huge success and you'll have made the world a better place.
Did you call Grant nice?
Remember how we started off this episode and I was like, but that's not as kind as I want to be. And you're like, keeping it. I wish you both health, wealth, and happiness. Keep on laughing and the world will laugh with you.
Aww.
P.S. And this is good. And I'm glad I didn't share this earlier in the episode because I clearly had like pre-read this ending. P.S. I sleep listening to an audiobook. And for some reason, my Spotify opens itself during the night. And I'll suddenly wake up to you guys absolutely cackling about something.
I'm so sorry. That's so scary.
Love to hear you laugh, but terrifying when it's out of the blue in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Many thanks and all my love, Holly.
That was really sweet, Holly. Thank
Adorable.
you for writing that in. And you're a great storyteller.
Yeah, that was fun.
Don't
No,
let
you might be wondering what the ash was.
Same.
Yes. That means you were following along.
I pulled up an Am I the Asshole?
Ooh, nice. Okay.
It's a long one, long-ish. So our current theme is Buried Below.
Right.
And I never told anyone on social media what that theme was, so I'm assuming no one at this current time in history really knows what it is. Actually, no, because they won't know until next week, maybe. Anyway, am I the asshole for not giving my adopted daughter a stuffed animal for her high school graduation when both of my biological children got one?
Oh. Okay.
Okay. I, 49 female, have 3 children. Okay. 22 female, 19 male, and 18 female. My oldest are my biological children from a previous marriage, and my youngest I became a mother to at the age of 2 when I married her widowed father. She has only ever called me mom, and I officially adopted her at the age of 12. Now, on to the issue with the stuffed animals. Years and years ago, when I was only 20 and in college, I worked at a children's museum. I adored the job and working with the kids, and had the idea to buy stuffed animals from the gift shop to be my future kids' first stuffed animals whenever they were born. I had gotten a stuffed bear at birth that was very special to me growing up, and on my 18th birthday, my parents gifted me a duplicate they had bought way back when and kept for me all these years. I found this so special, I wanted to do something similar, so I bought 6 stuffed animals from the museum's gift shop, 3 to be given at birth, and 3 duplicates. I had no idea at the time how many kids I would have, but I knew I wasn't planning on having more than 3, so I didn't get any more. Brief trigger warning for loss of a child. So my first daughter received the stuffed animal I selected for her while pregnant. Then between her birth and the birth of my son, I miscarried. The experience was deeply traumatic for me, especially as I miscarried in my 2nd trimester, and I buried my baby with the stuffed animal they would have gotten. I kept the duplicate for comfort, to cuddle and to hold. Finally, my son was born and received the last of the stuffed animals I had set aside so many years ago. Now here's where I may be the asshole. For both my daughter and son's high school graduations, I surprised them with the duplicates for them to take to college with them and compare against the stuffies they've been loving on their whole lives. Both were very moved by this and took both original and duplicate to school with them. My youngest, however, never received a stuffed animal, so when her graduation celebration rolled around, I had no duplicate to gift her. I watched her unpack all her gifts and her face fall when she got to the last one and realized. She didn't really say anything, just got this super sad look on her face and excused herself to her room. I followed to ask what was wrong, and she said she didn't want to talk to me, so her father went in instead. According to him, she cried to him that she didn't feel as loved by me as her siblings and as much a part of the family. The unwrapping of her siblings' stuffed animals were very emotional events, and she had had the expectation that she'd be getting the same. In hindsight, I could have easily done something similar for her whenever I first came into her life, even if it wouldn't have been from the museum, but I didn't think of it. She had been cold to me this entire last week, and I feel so terrible. I've offered to take her out to a special dinner and the 2 of us to make amends, but she turned me down. am I the asshole? There is an edit, but I'll let you.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
I don't think she's the asshole specifically for not giving her a stuffed animal. I think there is like sentiment to what she did to her for her other kids, but I think like she could have seen that she owed her third child something sentimental as well.
Yeah.
And it could have been like a brand new stuffed animal. It could have been like the closest thing she could get with an explanation. It could have been like a framed photo or like something cute and sentimental that she could have taken to college with her.
If we're thinking about this from a framework of looking for proof to feel hurt, which is where oftentimes people go when they're grieving something like this.
Right.
It's like, clearly this idea was really moving and sentimental to you. Like you had a plan for it, right? Like you gave it to these other two and you didn't make a plan for me.
Yeah,
because
that's where it hurts.
You aren't as sentimental about me graduating as you are the other two.
Yeah.
That like either it did cross your mind and you didn't get to it, or it didn't cross your mind and that's still hurtful.
It's also hard because this child came into her life when the child was 2.
Right.
Like it's not like that child thinks of her stepmom as mom.
Right.
Which makes it, if it was like they came in at an older age, I could maybe see it. But
Yeah.
So here's the edit.
Okay.
Reddit agrees that she's the asshole. Edit. The votes are in, and I am definitely the asshole. Many of you are.
You rarely get edits where they're like, "Okay, well, thank you for that
I know,
feedback."
right? Either they get deleted, or
Right.
yeah,
and then you have to get like a comment where it's like, "Here's the original post they tried to hide."
yeah. Many of you are suggesting that I get her stuffy that reminds me of her, or maybe to get her too, so she can continue the tradition with future kids. But I think what I will do is gift her the duplicate my parents gifted me of my special plush bear I received at birth, which is one of my most treasured possessions and deeply meaningful to me. Thank you all for the advice. It is genuinely appreciated. I Googled buried treasure, and this is what came up.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, bear.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Fascinating,
right?
Though. Why did you Google? Oh, because buried below.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
that was my first route of research. I wanted to find like a real life treasure hunt, and there's a couple that are on my list, but
there's one on my list. What do you know?
I actually don't know a whole lot yet. I know a couple names.
Okay.
Can't remember them off the top of my head. They're like German or something.
How close and or far away is the treasure hunt that you're looking at?
I truly don't. I like got.
Okay, different ones. Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
This next one, yes, okay, amazing. This one comes back from September too.
Ooh.
Hi, y'all. See how I avoided the whose name is first issue? We really have gripped them with paralysis.
We really have.
I'm blank. And if this story ever makes your pod, you guys have full permission to say my name, which is Noelle. Hi, I'm Noelle. And if this story ever makes the podcast, you have permission to use it. I just want to mention I have been listening since episode 4 and have really loved the pod. I appreciate all the time and effort you guys put in, even on difficult days. Like, shout out, yes. Like, this is a labor of love, but sometimes that's labor. A lot of times it's love. There are some times where this is just labor. Eating the sandwich, handwriting an ad, being like, well, time to go. I have a cute, funny little story about the time my first crush crashed her ex's car.
Shut up.
With me in it.
Shut up.
Disclaimer, nobody had any serious injuries, so it wasn't really traumatic or anything. And me and my friends laugh about it now. So,
good.
Noelle, you trust us. You know our hearts. We love you. You understand. I feel comfortable saying this.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I was not sure if we'd already done this episode or not is I know we've already done, thank you, this listener story. I know we've already done a listener story of someone who like is a lesbian and like they have like this like whole moment like with their partner and the car and the ex. And so I was like, is this the same story? And I'm skimming through it and I'm like,
I don't think
we are getting some banger sentences. I'm just reading middle of paragraph sentences and these are bangers. I think I would remember them. Okay.
Oh my God,
for a bit of background information, I had a massive crush on my friend's sophomore year of high school. Let's call her Anna, but didn't tell her until a couple years later. We remained friends for a while, but we got really close this past spring and summer. I feel like I should specify I no longer have romantic feelings for her. She's just one of my best friends now. Also, Anna has been on and off with this one girl for years. And despite literally everyone telling her she should go no contact, they have kept in touch, claiming they're, quote, just friends.
Oh,
and
we've
then
all seen that play.
Shut up. In parentheses, we've all been there, though.
Oh, my God.
Welcome, Noelle.
Yeah,
welcome.
we really...
Okay, so the date is June 18th, 2024, and I'm flying into Newark Airport from Scotland. I go to the University of Edinburgh for school, so I was visiting the city. I almost missed my flight, actually, because the night before was one of those nights when you tell yourself, just one more drink, and all of a sudden, it's almost 4 a.m. You're our friend. You're our friend.
I would love to say I've been there recently, but I know Grant has.
Yeah, you actively went home early. I was like, second location, and you were like, no.
Goodbye.
and Lydia's like, where's the second location? And I go, it's a secret. And Lydia goes, and I go, you love surprises. You know that, right?
And then she kept asking you, and you were like, do
Correct.
you actually want to know? And she really was like, no.
I intentionally drove past X Bar, and she goes, oh my God, it's X Bar. And then I drove past Hudson Hill. She goes, oh, is it Hudson Hill? And then I circled back and drove past Charlie's, and she goes, oh my God. And it was Hudson Hill. But it's all very close, and I was literally circling for parking. But like, there's choices you can make when circling, and those are the choices I made. X Bar Charlie's, gay bar. Hudson Hill, cool indie coffee shop, cocktail bar with like plants hanging everywhere. Everything's lit by one singular pink salt lamp in the middle.
You still have not taken me there, and I'm honestly, I'm not going to go by myself at this point. Like, we need to go on a date there.
You're lying to my full face right now.
I am not.
I've never brought you.
No, no one has ever taken me to Fire on the Mountain or whatever either. I don't want to go by myself.
This is how I know you're married.
I know.
What am I going to go look at the cherry blossoms at the botanical garden by
Alone,
myself?
like a pervert? The thing is, I totally would. I go to bars, like I literally go to both of the breweries near us alone just to read and people watch. And Casey's like, do you want me to come with you? And I'm like, no.
You're like, I am indifferent.
Yeah.
As to what you do.
Yeah. So I would go.
I love Fire on the Mountain.
Yeah, but
we've spied on Tyler when he goes on dates at Fire on the Mountain.
I've spied on your date.
Yes.
But that was at a different place.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
And I heard Lydia's laugh in the background.
I'm impressed you didn't hear my laugh. You probably just didn't know me well enough.
Yeah, that was pretty. I mean,
I had met you like once.
You were Tyler's friend Maia at that point.
Good.
Yeah.
I ate a mac and cheese burrito that night.
A girl never forgets.
No, I don't.
It was also such early days to where we could finally interact with people again in public after the lockdowns.
Oh, that's true.
That like literally,
without a mask.
Literally anything was entertainment.
Yeah.
And so like when I was like, I'm going on a date, it was like the whole group's going on a date.
Well, then we got seated at like the table 2 away from you.
Oh, I know. Oh,
just
I know.
like by chance.
And listener, if you're wondering like, oh, that's weird. Yeah, we were in a tough place. And also the guy that I was on a date with, when he found out a couple of like weeks later, did not love that fact to come to service. Oh yeah, did not like it. Which I actually took as like not a red flag, but a pink flag. I'm like, that they weren't making fun of you. Like you've met them and they
also,
like you. And
in the straight world, like girls, yes. I've spied on my friends' dates purely so that they can leave,
right,
if they want to.
Right. Completely freaked him out, which was too bad. That's obviously not what I wanted to have that happen.
I mean, I didn't have great vibes from him, but I didn't know you well enough at that point.
I love you.
You were both bald.
We were.
Yeah, you guys, but there can't be 2 in one relationship. That feels weird.
So what's going to happen to Danny when the time comes?
Good question.
Thank you so much, mean, but thank you. So she's just out having drinks with her friends in Edinburgh before she makes a flight. One more, and then all of a sudden it's almost 4 a.m. And I didn't set an alarm. So I'm not really sure how I woke up in time to rush to the airport. The East Coast was in the middle of a heat wave.
Oh, no.
And it was so hot that day that 911 was down in the state of Massachusetts.
Gosh.
I had asked Anna if she could pick me up from the airport because it's like a 3.5-hour drive and there's literally no buses that run from the airport to my hometown. Anna loves you if she's willing to drive 3.5 hours one way to come get you.
Or she's just me and is just going to bop to some musicals on the way.
So true as well. I mean, I love to drive. I would pick you up from the Grand Junction Airport.
I love you.
Yeah. I might forget to put it in my calendar.
It's okay. Casey will come anyway.
Good. Okay. After already traveling 11 hours violently hungover that day.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I was pretty tired and really looking forward to having a nice long debrief with Anna on the drive home.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
That is really cute.
She called me an hour after I landed, claiming she had a surprise for me in the car.
Oh, God.
And that she would be a bit late picking me up because she took the wrong exit on the highway and was stuck in traffic.
That's gay, if
Lesbians.
I've ever heard it.
So much. We're both like homophobia, but it's true. And then in parentheses, this girl cannot follow directions while driving for the life of her.
Same.
About 10 minutes after we hang up, she called me again. She told me she had rear-ended someone on the exit ramp. This probably should have been when I realized she had been driving for too long and needed a break or something.
Yeah.
But my brain function was pretty limited at this point. She claimed everyone was fine and there wasn't a scratch in either car. Thank God.
That's good. Yeah.
But she'd be a little longer getting me.
Yeah.
I told her I'm just glad that everyone's okay.
Yeah.
And to take as long as she needed. I guess she took that to heart because she wasn't at the airport until 2 hours later. When she arrived, she told me she wasn't in her car, but to look for a silver minivan.
What?
Which I knew was her ex car. I opened the door, ready to interrogate her about why she was driving her ex's car, but saw the girl she'd been seeing recently, let's call her Sarah, in the front seat.
What?
I was honestly confused at this point. Apparently, Sarah being there is my surprise. She's like, hey, guess what?
This
I
is
brought
my
my
girlfriend."
situationship with me.
Yeah, definitely.
Imagine if Danny and Tyler did that to us.
I'd be pissed.
I mean, they have.
Yeah.
And they've always been really lovely.
They're
but
always-
not after I've been on traveling for so long.
I don't want to socialize at that point. That's
No.
insane. Also, I do have, not even a story. One time about taking directions. One time I was driving with my dear, dear friend Laura, and she had the GPS, and she was like, all right, you're going to take a right here. And I took a left. And I had heard her, and I like start driving, and she's like, Maia? And I like, yes. She's like, I said right. And I said, I know, I took a right. And she went, you did not. I was on like a major thoroughfare.
You are every kid that I'm coaching in the interprevents where I go, okay, now I need your character to turn left. And they put their hands up in front of them and then they like do the instruction.
I have really thought about getting that like little baby tattoo on my hands.
Do you still think about Jacob's comment in the group chat in the way that I still think about Jacob's comment in the group chat? See, it's very funny, but I can't say it.
Can I say
Maia?
it?
Can you say it, please?
Tyler got into a bit of a fender bender. It
Not
wasn't
his fault.
It wasn't his fault at all. It was, I think his car was parked, right?
Yeah.
And so he had to like deal with insurance and all of that. And obviously he's just recently come back from Europe. And so he's like entering this phase of adulthood that all of us have been in for a while, that he's not like, he doesn't really know what to do.
This era
like how
called
it operates.
American capitalist institutions.
Exactly. And so he texted into like our big group chat with like 9 people and it's like, what would you guys do in this situation? Like if I call insurance, like blah, 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 blah. And so many people are like, I have no idea what to do in this scenario. And I'm like, oh, I know. Like I've had something not the same, but similar happen to me. And so we talk about it for a second.
But in the group chat, like we're all following the conversation.
Some of you are like, wow, I wonder what it's like to have 9 friends that are so interconnected. The issue is that you get one-on-one conversations and then Grant gets mad at you for not responding to one text.
You open up, well, because I send mine before anyone's done anything. I get to my phone at 7 p.m. at night and there's 58 messages waiting for me.
And none of them are in response to whatever you said.
Which was a funny joke.
It was. And then Jacob says in the group chat something like, I love that we live in a world where a gay man and an Asian woman can talk about their bad driving. I don't even think he said Asian. I think I extrapolated that. I think he just said gay man and a woman. It's really funny.
We just trust Jacob so much.
We do. And, like,
if he needed a kidney, he'd have his pick of kidneys.
Yeah, we would all.
That's how we trust him.
Yeah, exactly. That was, if it came from literally anyone else,
yeah.
I would have been livid.
I can't even bring up the story now. I can cue it up, but then I'm like, are you still listening? Like Netflix style? I'm like, do you want to? Speaking of, sorry, one last thing from the group chat. Today I sent, because I love my friends.
Yes.
A hilarious text message.
I did giggle at it.
Right. And so the text message, here's what this says. Just said this to a student. Quote, Well, much like owning a raccoon, it depends on the jurisdiction. And it went unresponded to for 4 hours.
I was getting my photo taken.
Well,
a bunch of times for 2 hours.
Pretty people don't have time to read, Grant.
No.
So
that sign won't stop me because I can't read.
Is that a quote from the group text?
What is that from?
I don't know.
Oh, it's from like a cartoon, like the one that has like the bears. I don't know. It's like the little girl bear, and there's like a big sign that says "Danger, do not enter." And then she just says, "That sign can't stop me because I can't read."
Thank you for explaining the
You're
meme.
welcome.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so her new girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh, I clearly hit the screen because I'm like, where am I?
Also, if you're ever wondering what it's like to be friends with gay people, this is it. Like, oh, I'm meeting up with my one gay friend who's for some reason in the car of her ex because they're still on good terms for God knows what reason. And then she also has her new person in the car, probably with the ex knowing that fact.
And as you climb into the car, they say, "Hi, so good to see you. Don't mind the dog hair."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you.
It's me. It's
now
me.
Now say it in a mirror.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Don't get in my car.
Anyways, I get in the car. We're all dying of heat stroke because this silver minivan has no AC.
Oh my God, no.
I didn't even bother to ask why she wasn't driving her own car. I had bigger issues to deal with at the time, like being stuck in standstill traffic with no AC on the hottest day of the year in sweatpants.
Oh.
Why did you leave Edinburgh is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Since it was rush hour, we got stuck in the worst traffic, and I ended up unbuckled. Bad idea number one. Leaning out the window to try to get some air. After 45 minutes, we finally started moving, but I still wasn't buckled yet. Again,
oh God,
horrible idea.
She's living her perks of being a wallflower.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the middle of the back seat, showing
no.
Sarah some British pounds because tell me why UK money looks so much cooler than the US dollars. Agree and disagree.
I don't know why there's so many coins, but they do look cooler.
Looks also a little bit like wrapping paper.
It does, but then why does ours not look like wrap? Like it feels very fragile compared to theirs. Have you ever tried to rip theirs?
No.
Doesn't work.
Oh.
Ours rip really easily, and then you can't put it into an ATM, and that dollar's gone.
I think I might have some Canadian cash in my Subaru because I drove it to Canada this summer.
I have a bunch of Canadian coins.
You should try to rip that sometime. Let me know how it goes.
No.
We weren't fully out of traffic yet, however, and when the car in front of us approached more traffic, they slammed on the brakes. Anna had no time to react, and we hit the almost stopped car at 70 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
Since my idiot self still didn't have a seatbelt on, I was launched forward.
Oh my God.
My shoulder hit the plastic of the passenger seat.
Ow.
My shins hit the middle console, and my head tapped the dashboard.
Oh my God.
I was a bit out of it, but as the car engine started smoking and Anna yelled at us to get out of the car, I snapped back to reality. We left the car and stood on the side.
Reality.
Is it a song? I don't know it.
Mom's arms weak.
Spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti.
Good. Okay, that
there
one.
There you go. Continue.
Eminem.
Yeah.
Anna yelled at us to get out of the car. I snapped back to reality. We all left the car and stood on the side of the highway, but we could hear Anna's phone through the car speakers.
No!
Apparently, her phone detected the crash and automatically notified
Called 911?
her parents, called 911, and notified her ex.
No!
It was genuine luck we crashed in Connecticut because, as I mentioned earlier, 911 in Massachusetts was down.
Oh my gosh.
As we were standing on the side of the road, trying to process what just happened, if everyone was okay, and what to do, a man in a white truck drove by shouting, "You can't park there."
That's so fucked up.
Grant Thomas is having a good time.
Yeah.
I would, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'd get that tattooed on me. Can't park there. Looking back, that's actually pretty
ass.
funny. It's funny now. Yeah.
It is funny now.
Because there's so much loaded into, I'm not going to be able to say that, not even on a Petra. It's funny now. But in the moment, well, I didn't laugh.
No.
See what I did there?
No, explain it to me.
Literally in parentheses. Anyways, the cops came. Sorry. I held my phone up and I looked at my back screen phone case. Yeah. And earlier this week, a child goes, "Oh, mister, is that your phone? Is that your phone case?" And I go, "Yep." And they go, "Is it a desert scape?" And I go, "Yep."
Yeah. Good recognition of photos.
Anyways, the cops came and we towed the car, but we're still over 2 hours away from home.
Oh my gosh.
So we decided to go sit in a pizza shop while we waited for Anna's dad to pick us up. I still had my suitcase and everything with me, so I had to drag it through the city of Stamford, Connecticut, and received quite a few odd looks. Maybe the weird looks were because I had rolled up my sweatpants because it was hot again.
Hey, get it?
And, that explains
do you see what they did there?
There's a winky face after it. And I just thought
you were like, interesting.
It starts off in parentheses and then it ends with the parentheses being a winky face. So I was like, interesting grammatical choice. Hot again. Nice. She got all of the jokes.
That was good. That was sneaky.
And my shirt was partially torn from the accident. But who's to say? So as we sit in the restaurant, Anna asked if I could distract Sarah so she could call her ex.
Oh my God.
And explain the situation.
Would Sarah be mad about that?
I don't know.
Does Sarah know that that's her ex's car?
I was like, does Sarah think she's in your silver minivan right now?
Yeah. That's the only reason I could think.
Does Sarah have a car? Who has a car in this conversation? And I
the ex?
And I got to remember that it's the East Coast, so like not everyone has cars,
right?
Like in the Midwest,
right.
But anyways, obviously I said yes because I'm a real one, and we ordered some of the best pizza I've ever had while Anna's made her phone calls. We got home late that night, and it ended up being a 23-hour travel day for me.
No.
So I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And when Anna called me an hour after we got home, asking if I could pick her up so we could debrief everything, I obviously agreed. No, I wouldn't.
I would have not picked up the phone.
Yeah, same. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I would have turned that shit off.
I would have texted you, just about to fall asleep. What's up?
I would have said, I'm asleep.
And I'm nicer. Obviously, I agreed. I finally got the story as to why she had her ex's car, but it's not even that interesting. She basically just said she was worried her car wouldn't make the drive. Honestly, fair enough, because her car runs on hopes and dreams at this point. Wow. So she asked her ex if she could drive hers. She could have asked literally anyone else, though. So it was definitely a ploy to see her again. That's seeing your friends, honestly, for who they are.
That's seeing their true motive.
And again, so grateful to have friends who have never once shied away from telling me the whole truth, especially if it's vaguely mean. And I do know it comes from love. Honestly, when you guys are being nice is when I'm afraid you're lying to me. Like, I know when it's honest
Grant gets
feedback.
really suspicious.
Yeah.
When it's only nice, he starts glaring at us.
And I like to say for good reason.
I just leave when things get too nice. Yeah.
Obviously, it was a ploy to see her again. It backfired on her, though, because once the legal side of things was sorted post-crash, her ex finally said they needed to go no contact. So embarrassing when it's the other person who's like, hey, I actually think...
when it was you that was like thinking about it.
Everyone's like, you're better than them, go no contact.
And then they're that's like, humiliating.
We gotta right. Because not only were all your friends right, but now you've been beaten to the punch.
Yeah.
It only took a totaled car for them to officially end things. And then in parentheses, typical gay relationship. Yeah. Maybe for women.
I'm glad you said it.
Maybe for women. I swear to God, I've had friends who've been like, male friends who've been like, I don't know, like, there's not even any more movies I want to watch. So like, what's the purpose of keeping him around anymore?
Gays and lesbians are vastly different, and it's hilarious.
Sarah also ended up breaking it off with Anna after the crash.
Oh my God.
Which honestly, fair enough. Anna went to go get her from the airport with 2 girlfriends. She ended with no girlfriends. She had her best friend. Each of us had some minor injuries. Sarah just had bruising. Anna injured her thumb and had a concussion. And I had a few large cuts and a partially dislocated shoulder and a concussion and lots of bruising, thanks to my lack of seatbelt. Turns out they work. But we were all fine. I'd love to point out, in case we forgot, That was her second car accident of the day.
Oh my God, that's so
which we
true.
had forgotten.
Oh my God.
Also, my friends joke that it was the ultimate revenge for the emotional damage Anna's ex left her with.
Yeah.
Ends with, not sure if, how this fits into the next theme. Honestly, vigilante vengeance, this does kind of feel well.
Well, it's buried below.
Sure, but I mean, close enough.
I mean, a lot of buried emotions going on.
This email came in September.
Yeah. I don't know what theme we were running then.
But I hope that the story was entertaining for you guys because I think it's pretty funny. Anyway, say hi to Mo and Bowser for me.
I will when
Much love,
Monet
Noelle.
eventually comes back.
Probably very angry.
Thank you so
at us.
much, Noelle.
I love that story.
That was really good.
I wonder how many. We have one more that I have not pre-read. It's not that long, but you can read it.
Okay.
It's titled "It's a Long One."
Nice. Okay. Good day, Chuckle Bunnies.
Okay.
I like that. That's a good alternative to making Grant and I mad at each other.
I don't know if Chuckle Bunnies or Buddies.
Bunnies. Bunnies. N.
Okay.
N as in Noelle.
And as a no, thank you.
Yeah. No, thank
Hey,
you.
but hey, you know what? As I preach every day in class, we made an artistic choice. And the fun thing about artistic choices, most of them are wrong. But you got to make them before you can get to the
Until
right
you get
ones.
to the next paragraph.
Good. Go ahead.
Have I got a tale for you? First,
Wait
though,
till you meet her. Have I got a tale for you, boy? Go ahead. Sorry, we were talking
First,
about company earlier.
what do we think about Chuckle Bunnies? Yay,
Oh.
nay, I was workshopping that or Graya, because God knows I can't just be normal and list your names in an order that might indicate preference.
Graya sounds like it'd be like a beautiful cave-dwelled cheese.
You're just
I'm a little hungry.
biased.
Yeah, it's
Also.
super not interested in Chuckle Bunnies. Yeah, you'd be right about that. Oh, do you not like
Would you
that-
prefer Mant, or Chuckle Bunnies? Would you prefer Maia and Grant or Chuckle Bunnies?
Graya sounds so much like your name. How do you not like Graya?
Because your letters come first, and I know
The G,
that's what
the
you care
R.
about.
No, I think Graya sounds nice. It's like a brie. I mean, sure, there's like the G and the R, and then we co-parent that middle A before the I and the A fall
Wait,
to
that's
you.
actually really funny. Can we put an umlaut on that I?
And it's just us tug of warring.
yeah.
It's us arm wrestling over it.
That's good. So the answer is Grant hates Chuckle Bunnies. I love it.
Graya, tell me a story.
Okay, any Hoosier. Literally,
Is that in it? Good.
any
From the
Hoosier.
Midwest,
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
How are y'all doing? Good. My name is Chris. He, him. Yep. Same Chris from the Pride Flags and proselytizer story.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Good to be back. How you been? Long time no chat. No question marks. All just commas between those questions.
Long-time listener, frequent caller.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
But we love you.
Yeah, for us. Again, lose it on the bunnies, but otherwise, huge fan of everything so far.
So happy to be erroneously attributed artists that got their due, because there's another Chris that made some of the
Right.
art for us, and I was like, thank you for doing that, and then they messaged,
They were
like,
no.
that wasn't me.
I can't draw.
Yeah. Okay. Quick side quest. Living in Colorado Springs,
Oh, fun.
I feel like I am just listening to a couple of friends just gabbing about everything I am missing just an hour away, parentheses, and doesn't it just make that pride flag story just a little bit more hilarious? Yes, it does. That actually adds a lot of context.
Add some color.
Yeah, okay. All right. Smooth turn right from this tangent back to the topic at hand. What topic is that? I don't know. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Okay, back in 2006, I was a projectionist at Fridley Theater in my small town in Iowa. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Chris. As an introverted,
Hold on.
undiagnosed
Fidley, Iowa. Can you spell it?
Fridley Theater in Iowa.
Fidley Theater.
Fridley Theater.
I'm from the Midwest. I must know where this is.
That's fine.
But I'm struggling typing Fridley Theater. It's closed. I'm kidding. I haven't ever pull it up yet. Continue.
As an introverted, undiagnosed ADHD kid, this was the dream job. I get it. I didn't have to talk to anyone. I worked in the dark. Honestly,
Oh, it's a movie theater. I thought we were talking to an actor.
well,
Did it say Fridley Movie Theater?
no, it just said Fridley Theater.
Okay, cool.
You could have waited 2 sentences though.
Is that who you gotten to know me as?
No, that's true. Honestly, if film hadn't gone digital in the mid 2010s, I probably would still be a projectionist. The perks are better than you imagine. As a projectionist, we receive the film divided up on 6 to 9 separate reels that we then splice together onto one gigantic reel for smooth, seamless playback. Actually, this is providing a lot of context I didn't know that I needed. Thank you, Chris. We did this on a Tuesday usually to make sure we did it right, we watched the movie. If you've seen Fight Club, you get the premise. So I got the oh-so-tough job of watching every movie that came out between 2005 and 2016,
Whoa.
2 to 3 days before everyone else.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, what a tough life I lived.
I don't know if I need health insurance in that scenario.
Yeah, true. But that is irrelevant. What is relevant to the story I'm about to tell is I worked at this theater. Let me introduce you to our main character, my father. We'll call him Dick.
Okay, well, I'm excited now. That is not the turn I thought. I mean, I was excited before, but I did not think this was father
As
trauma.
in short for Richard, parentheses, his name's not Richard, but I think you'll find the name fitting. Dick is a former Marine. He will be quick to tell you there is no such thing as an ex-Marine because once a Marine, always a Marine. Semper Fi, do or die, oorah.
I love you because it's pronounced Semper Fi.
Semper Fi?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
You said Fi.
Oh, Semper Fi. Sorry.
Yeah.
In my head, I pronounced it Fi. If that
Okay.
makes it any
I was like,
better.
I love if you're so Marine removed.
I mean,
I
am, but I...
Semperi Fi.
Semperi, it's...
Reading a lot of that magical realism fiction lately, haven't you, girl?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and don't let him catch you referring to him as a, quote, soldier because, quote, those army dogs wish they could be us.
Okay.
Dick is that loud, obnoxious guy in a restaurant who is making the server cry because the kitchen forgot to make his burger sans pickles. We all know Dick.
This is his father?
Yes, we all loathe Dick.
Okay.
What is this feeling? So sudden and new. We all crave a day when karma kicks a dick.
Ooh.
That was a good transition. Okay.
You really perked Maia's attention too
that was
now.
good. That was good. Fall 2006. My sister, let's call her Jane, Dick, and myself are double featuring on a Saturday. We have an hour between movies, so Dick decides he's going to have a nap in the car while Jane and I chill inside.
I get that he's a jerk, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a vibe. Yeah. Uneventful 40 minutes passes. Dick then joins us in the theater. We're just relaxing, not doing too much. Wait a second, sorry. A good idea, but from a Marine that's like, my kids are now alone in the theater.
Small town, high trust community.
Okay, but like... most Marines or most Army like people that I know refuse to even sit with their back to a door. So.
Oh, sure. But that's their back. Children can fend for themselves or perish.
Apparently, yeah, okay. Dick then joins us in the theater. We're just relaxing, not doing too much. 15 minutes later, 5 minutes before the movie start time, we start hearing a cell phone noise. I don't think too much of it. We're still in the pre-show ads. I try to ignore it. Dick kind of looks around to see if he can spot the culprit, and no luck. But it doesn't stop. 3 minutes to showtime. Still going.
It's a phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like a text chirp or a ring. It's constant. I can't pinpoint where it's coming from, but it sounds close behind. Previews start. Still going. Dick is getting visibly shook now. I'm getting anxious. He's going to do something. I'm going to die of embarrassment. He booms, quote, "Shut that fucking phone off!"
Good, because it's good to communicate your emotions when you're the angriest version of those emotions.
Yes, that's good. That's good. I sink down in my chair. I'm dead. I look at my sister. She's hiding behind her hands. Neither of us can stand when he makes scenes in public like this. The noise continues through the previews. Whose phone is this? Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Dick keeps up his tirade, lambasting this unknown disruptor, all the while being vocally more obnoxious than anyone else in the room. The previews come to an end. This muffled cell phone sound promises to continue. The movie starts. Dick has had enough. He's going to tell the manager.
Good.
That'll show them. I'm looking for an exit. That'll show them. I'm looking for an exit, like Chris is looking for the exit. That's when it happens. As Dick gets up from his seat, the muffled noise becomes clear and loud. Dick's back pocket is screaming from the alarm he'd set for 5 minutes to showtime to ensure he'd wake up from his car nap between movies. And every single person knows, as if it were choreographed,
Oh my God.
the insults he'd hurled into the seats previously come ricocheting back with verve. A chorus of laughter and cheers follow Dick into the lobby as he makes the decision that maybe the second movie might not be worth it today. My sister and I definitely stayed to watch the movie.
Duh, obviously.
We walked the 4 blocks home afterwards, and Dick never mentioned that day again. Parentheses, although my sister and I regularly have a good chuckle. Was Dick nicer to people after this? Unfortunately not. Did Dick learn any lessons from this? Again, no. What did Jane and Chris learn from this? Don't put up with the dicks in your life. Find the family that will love you for you and treats everybody with dignity and respect.
Absolutely.
XO, Chris.
I mean,
that's so funny.
A beautiful reminder to extend gratitude in the world. You never know when you're going to need it. You never know when you're going to need to have some banked, you know?
Shut that fucking
phone off. All right, who's doing this?
I can see the moment he stands up and the ringing becomes clear and everyone goes, oh my God. The way you and I would be telling this story to this day.
100%.
Yeah, if we had been there.
And a lot meaner.
Yeah.
But I also face a little social anxiety myself in those kind of situations. If I feel like I'm being disruptive, I'm like if I were bleeding suddenly in a movie theater, I would exit quietly, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would have the courage to yell it back to him.
That's fair. I, at one point, had a crush on this guy freshman year of high school or freshman year of college. And we went to go see a movie and he unashamedly checked his phone so many times during that movie.
Ooh.
That gave me the ick.
Yeah.
And maybe it was beginning of
What is he,
sophomore year or
bored
something.
to be with you or bored in that movie? Just rude to the experience.
To be fair, he did have a mother that was going through some health issues, so I can understand him being on his phone, but he was not texting the entire time. The number of times he was texting or looking at his phone did not make sense for that. But that was the original reason that I was like, oh, it's okay. Maybe he's just checking on family or doesn't want to put his phone down. But sometimes he was just scrolling, it looked like, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah. No, that's a huge ick.
And it's not like he was even sitting in the back row.
If they're doing that at a young age, they're going to be impossible to live with when they're older.
He's very nice. I still love him to this day, but I'm not watching a movie theater with you again.
What was I going to say? Okay. So in class 2 days ago, a couple kids were talking about this boy that one of them likes. And she goes, well, I don't know. It was Monday or Tuesday, maybe at this time. And they go, well, I don't know. I've been left on red since Saturday. I sent him a message and he hasn't responded or anything. And everyone's like, oh, that's not good, girl. That's bad. And then one kid goes, well, wait, hold on 1 second. Is his Snap score still going up, or did he get his phone confiscated? And then I snorted.
That's good.
I know, it's good. And then I also snorted because I was like, I forget is he grounded and thus has taken his
phone is an option.
Is a scenario you guys actually have to plan around and deal with in your dating lives. Is he not interested, or is he literally not able to communicate? But also, ladies, if he wanted to, he would,
He would figure it out.
Right. The library's free and you can log into Instagram.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can get onto Instagram. One time my phone completely died at work and I was only talking to Casey via Instagram from my computer for an entire day.
I miss the old days back when we still lived in the light, where you could go to work with a flip phone and kind of in theory text from wherever, but also because it was a flip phone, no one was ever saying anything interesting. And you could just live your life unbothered.
See,
it's put me out to pasture. That's what I want. That's what I want again.
I love the work from home lifestyle, and I know that does not go along with flip phones.
Yeah. I have been really proud. This is podcast related, I promise. And then we can read the final story of the day. I have gotten my screen time down to, on average, below 4 hours a day.
If you haven't heard from Grant on our Instagram recently, this is why.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's doing healthy things for himself, but I don't have time.
I'm responding every 2 days usually. Sometimes I'll do back-to-back days. But it's funny, I can look at my phone's screen time bar graph, and I know exactly when we have an episode because it's when
nothing.
Right. No, so when we have it, because my phone's on. Yes.
Yeah.
When it's your story, plummets.
Nothing.
When it's my story, it's like, you were on your phone for 7
3
hours today.
Yeah.
And most of it was after 7 p.m. Yeah. So it'll be really interesting after today's listener episode what our numbers look like.
Yeah.
All right. So as I pull up the last story, any final?
Also, just by the way, to the listener who sent us the wigs and also these little ceramic cranes, these cranes have been both Grant and I's fidget toys since we moved into this studio. I want you to know I need more of these cranes. And so just let me know where they came from.
And we have, in an unspoken way, green and blue are now mine because they're close to me.
They're the softer ones.
So blue is soft, green is pointy.
Okay.
For you have a pointy and a soft one too.
Oh, that's true. I have played with the soft one. One of them, or there's two of them that are like really pointy. And
those are really pleasing.
Yeah, they're really nice.
I don't even think I think they sent us to this without any intention of us reading it out loud.
Oh, beautiful.
We're going to because it's very funny. At least I think so.
So do you think it's male or female or gender neutral?
I think it's feminine presenting.
Feminine presenting?
That's the language I've started to adopt, by the way. It feels more like less specific.
Say just Felix. I don't know why that came up, but that is a very gender neutral name.
Okay. Felix. Well, I mean,
feminine presenting.
You'll understand. It can't be Felix. You need to give me a bit more. Is there
something to do with a cat?
You need to give me something. You need to give me something a bit more feminine.
A bit more feminine.
Yeah. Hey, say it with me on 3. You're going to hear part of this sound a little odd because they're part of the 1, 2, 3 lost tapes. Good.
AKA, I said a name that I shouldn't have said, and then we incorporated it into a story, and now Grant has to start over.
And this story is from Christine. Nope, I'm taking over now.
I was going to say Chase.
No, it's worse. That's done. No more names out of you today. I'm glad this is our last story. Christine. Hi, Grant and Maia. I'm in charge. I'm the captain now.
I'm going to make that cut the most awkward thing ever. Intentionally.
Over the past week, I have been binge listening to your podcast to pass the hours at work. As a neurodivergent lesbian, it's the perfect podcast to listen to fill those conversational needs without actually having to have a conversation with anybody. So thank you for your service. So anyways, I was listening to...
Oh, also, she said Maia and Grant, by the way. They said Maia and Grant. Just needed to repoint that out since we glossed over it the second time.
Okay. Lost tapes. Thank you. Cut in there. It's good that this is the last episode. I mean, this is the last episode. We're closing down at 85.
Don't give our neurodivergent lesbian friends anxiety.
Christine. And what's extra funny is you don't actually know Christine's name. I'm the only one that knows the name. So anyways, I was just listening to a listener episode where they just aired out something they did that was embarrassing. So I thought I'd do the same. Oh my
God.
So let me set the scene.
Yes.
I just left work on my lunch break to run a few errands. So I'm heading back in, obviously listening to Chaperone. Yes, obviously.
As you do. Yeah.
Obviously listening to Chaperone on maximum volume.
Yes.
Again, as per usual. So I roll up to the barrier to let myself back into the car park, and to my obviously from London.
Yes,
by the way.
I got that. Yeah. As soon as they said car park.
And to my dismay, I have left my key fob on my desk.
No.
So I press the buzzer to get through. That's so tough. You're about to have a conversation.
I know, when you didn't want to. I get that.
So anyways, I go through the car park, have a leisurely stroll back to my desk. I reopen my laptop and find I have one new email from Stores. For those of you that don't know, Stores is where all the imports and exports leave the building. Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I didn't either.
With an attachment. Oh no.
They heard the Chaperone.
It's worse.
Oh no.
It's so much worse.
Oh, no.
I open it to find a video of me at the barrier, blissfully unaware of being recorded by the Ring doorbell, loudly singing Naked in Manhattan by Chaperone. If you know, you know. I think, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Until about an hour later, I got another email from Stores with multiple videos of me singing wholeheartedly to songs such as Juno by Sabrina Carpenter, Red Wine Supernova, and more.
So they saw this video and then went back to find every other video.
Sounds like Stores needs more work.
It sounds like Stores might be your new best friend.
Listen, this might be the American capitalist in me, right?
Yeah.
We have new overlords. But dark.
Yes, very dark.
Sounds like Stores either has work they could be doing or too many people on its payroll.
I think Stores should change absolutely nothing.
Christine, I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Anyways, from now on, catch me never singing in the car again. And then in parentheses, I am lying. This will in no way stop
this
me.
Was a lie. And it has to be Ron Howard for some reason.
Anyways, just wanted to share this part of my day because it feels very relatable. Many thanks, your dearest British listener, Christine Shearer. Oh, there's pronouns at the end.
Oh, God, I hate you.
Sorry. I was so much trying to get permission. Anyways, Christine, not her real name. How fun.
That was amazing. And also, Christine, I desperately need you to do like an investigative journalist thing on who went through to find all of those videos. Because is it a little creepy and overbearing if you haven't met them? Yes. But also, is it hilarious, at least to me? Also, yes. That's the type of prank that I would pull on people. For a while, I was leaving fun questions on my boss's whiteboard because he doesn't actually work from the Denver office most of the time.
Okay.
One time I asked him that owl question.
Oh, how many owls
Yeah.
until you start to realize there's owls following you?
Until you realize something's wrong. He thought it was a riddle. I think about that almost daily. Anytime I get like maybe a little annoyed at him or anything, I'm like, remember that one time?
Hold my hand. Okay, so in my community, the gay community, I am, relatively speaking, tall. I'm by no means the tallest, but I'm taller than average. Yeah. And the short ones in my community, said this with love, can be kind of mean. And while I've never had to pull out the nuclear option before, I've always kind of had it in my back pocket.
What is
if there's a small gay man talking to me and they're being mean to me or my friends, I am prepared to at any moment go, oh my God, go ask your riddles 3 to someone else, you troll.
There's something so reassuring about knowing that sometimes your quips have been thought out and you've been waiting to use them for the right time.
Wit is art. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, it is.
No one's like, oh, what, I'm fast? I'm sorry, I've never ran before. Of course some of this is dry ran. Of course some of this is dry ran.
Tell your riddles 3
to someone else, you troll.
I need to find a short person that irritates me. Say that to.
Do I have the boy for you? Wait till you meet him. It's from Company.
I know.
Again,
I
same
know.
episode. And also, it's Danny.
Yeah.
Danny, we love you. You know that.
That's so funny. I'm going to use that.
I hope you do.
Okay.
I love the idea, too, of someone thinking it's a riddle and, like, there's, like, a wordsmith answer out of it.
He sent me a Teams message. I was like, I am trying everything not to Google this question. I was like...
How do I answer it? I don't even know what the question is.
He was like, I need a hint. And I was like, what do you mean you need a hint?
Okay, this is my warm-up tomorrow. Yeah. This is my warm-up tomorrow. I'm not even joking. I stand by my answer more now than I did at the time.
Yeah.
Which is like, you're going to have to kind of hit 30 before I'm like, whoa. And also, I have just accepted that this world is big and beautiful and wonderful and that it has mysteries that I won't ever remember or solve. So if I was driving through like my neighborhood and saw 30 owls, I'm actually still pretty sure my response would be, had no idea they migrated. Like, I am so positive.
The way I've asked this question now to like a lot of people. Some people it's as low as like 4.
Sure.
And then some people it's as high as like hundreds.
Yeah.
And there is like really not a whole,
No,
like,
it's a gap.
Yeah, there's like nothing between like 6 and like 30.
It's actually this crazy Bechdel test, like the ink blot test of like, have you lived a life where you're pretty sure the world is out to get you, or has nothing of bad ever really happened, and you just live in trust from dawn to dusk?
I want to see if I could find the thread when Heath realized that it was not
I
a
can't
riddle.
solve this question.
That's what it's like working with engineers every day, is that they don't get a fun question.
I know I said this when you first shared the story, but I've had this actual conversation. 2.5, 3 years ago, Denver suffered a horrific moth invasion. Our eastern plains in the state of Colorado had gotten a lot of rain that spring, which meant there had been a lot of baby caterpillars that survived, and they all hatched into miller moths that then were flying from the eastern plains to the mountains and passing through the city. And they were like swarming. They would like come up through your air conditioner or whatever. And I came home one day and found like 8 of them in my house, which was insane. It was like none of them, and then there was 8 of them. So I killed them all quietly and then didn't say anything.
God.
And Jacob and Lydia had just bought the house that they live in this neighborhood. Had just bought it.
Yeah.
So they also didn't tell me. I was ashamed. I thought I had left a window open like I'm some like barn animal.
No.
And they had gotten in. They thought they had bought a moth factory.
No, last year was really just bad for moths in Denver.
Okay, read this team message.
This is so funny. To my boss, if you're listening,
we love you.
I would never read anything serious on this podcast. Okay. He said, I'm really trying to process this owl riddle and not cheat. And I said,
I'm really trying to process this owl riddle.
For those of you who
and
don't,
not cheat.
Don't remember, is how many owls would you have to see before you knew something was wrong? That's the question I wrote on his like little whiteboard.
Him before lunch? Because that means he chewed on some sweet green while thinking about this.
I would leave these messages when he wasn't in the office. So I wrote the message probably the day before.
So this just showed up on the wall in his office one day, and he was like, I got to solve this.
Well, he's not in the Denver office most of the time.
Okay.
He sent this at 2 p.m.
Okay.
So, I think he came in later that day, but still, it's like a decent amount of time.
Good.
He said, oh my God, LOL, it's not a riddle. It's just a question. And he said, LOL, that thought crossed my mind, but I wanted to see if I could come up with a clever answer. And I said, will I await with bated breath? And he said, but I think my answer would have to be, if I'm not in a zoo, then 2 owls
What?
is sus.
That's...
Wait, okay. And then I said,
No.
2? That's such a low number, especially for someone who spends a lot of time in nature. He skis and hikes all the time. And I said, some people were all the way up to in the 20s. And I said 6.
That's me. I was that person.
And he said, yeah, but you never see them in the wild. I don't know. Maybe if I saw 2, I'd consider it an especially fortuitous day. But if there's 3, I'm grabbing my go back. Anyway, how's progress on the process tracker going? That's the entire conversation.
No, like hundreds of owls probably for me. I see loads of like geese, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of geese.
I forgot about that. That's so funny. I'm going to have to, I think he's in the office tomorrow.
I hope you have a talk with him about it. This week has been the longest week of my life. I don't know how it's only Thursday tomorrow.
I don't either. I
have a whole week off.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed today's episode, right, we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
See, it's a collaborative process.
That's fucked
they
up.
won't believe it if you laugh right after I say that.
The way you said it.
You know the speech, but I'd love to say it. And here's a new way to start it off.
Ooh.
If you like us so much, you're like, I actually would like them to say something specific, like their little Muppets that I control.
We will
Find
do
us on Cameo.
Yeah. 100%.
See, told you I was going to fold it in.
I'm
I started to remember it.
Yeah.
Next up, I memorized the Whoville holiday Hubermeister speech. I'm art. So this Cameo, you can find us anywhere on social media where we are Well I Laugh Podcast. Funny little memes and stuff is a great thing to send us on Instagram. We'd love to connect. If you would like your story read in our next listener episode, you can connect with us through our email where we are welllaughedpod@gmail.com.
Next theme is naughty or nice, and we won't actually be recording that for a good few weeks.
For a while, yes, we have time. And then if you would like additional content for the price of only $5, you get access to the Discord community to talk about our episodes and like a whole other set of content. Every day we publish a regular episode. We also publish an additional Patreon one. to fulfill all your podcast needs.
And also rate us 5 stars and leave a review. Only if you don't think we're obnoxious, though.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You can leave a review even if you don't particularly like us. But
if you liked 2 weeks ago episode about cheese, Patreon is a great way to help us support more cheese.
Yes, exactly.
And with that,
okay, bye. See you
friends.
on Patreon.
Bye.